We are at Embry-Riddle University. This is the College of Security and Intelligence. It's the only place like it in the entire country. We're in the cyber lab with Professor Steve Hooper. Steve, thanks for doing this again.
Sure, anytime.
Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing on the screens behind us.
Well, again, this is the cyber lab, part of the college's cyber program, and what you're seeing here are live shots of attacks going on around the world, cyber attacks. And that allows the students to come in here and monitor this and put what they're learning in here into practice.
So these are real-time attacks, and they're able to watch them, monitor them, and they learn then how to fight against them?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the different phases of the college. What happens here, and what are people studying to do when they get out of college? Where are they going from here?
Well, the goal is to build the next cadre, the next generation of national intelligence, national security entities, people to fill and give them the training and the education to go on to our national security intelligence community and corporate security side and cybersecurity across the globe, frankly.
So what's interesting, a couple of things is, first of all, there's nothing like it anywhere in the country. Right here in Arizona is the only place they can go to this school, and the enrollment has really blossomed over the last few years, hasn't it?
It has. It goes up exponentially every year. We're up over 500 students now at this college alone.
The other unique thing about this is people like yourself becoming educators, because you spent your life doing this for a living. Tell us about your background.
Well, I did 30 years with the FBI, the last 15 running counterintelligence and intelligence operation, and a background in counterintelligence operations as well. So this was a natural fit for someone like me to come up and help build that next generation.
So does it help you then doing that? Because you're able to take not just the educational book side of it, but you're using practical life experience and stories from what you've done for a living, and it translates to the students, correct?
Correct. And the uniqueness of this college is we've got such a blend. We have those who have the academic acumen that bring the different view, where we also have the practitioners that have been there and done it for a living. And the blend really brings a unique concept to educating these students to a level that we think is unique in the country.
So give me your perspective. All the years you spent with the FBI, like you said, 30 years, and you have watched terrorism and watched the attacks against the United States morph and change in the way they do it, to where these cyber attacks are more prevalent now than they were before. How is this school adapting to the changes like that?
Well, again, the uniqueness of it is that we can adapt. We can enhance the program as the years go by. You know, the one thing is schools use textbooks, and textbooks get outdated. But what this school brings is the ability to stay current every semester. And so we bring what the newest technology is and what the newest topics are for national security and corporate security to bear each semester. It can be, all the information's current.
So if there's a student that watches this, that decides this is the avenue they want to pursue, how long would they be here before they got their degree, and how long before they declared which direction they wanted to go in, whether it's cybersecurity or in the business side of it?
Well, the college curriculum is pretty standard. They come in as freshmen and sophomores. It's a 4-year degree, and their upper grades, they start migrating towards either a national or intelligence community approach, a national security approach, a cyber approach, and or a corporate security approach. As they get in their junior and senior years, they start to identify, oh, this part interests me, I'm going to go that route.
Well, just in the last couple of years, we've seen terrorist attacks in the United States and other parts of the world and how they've changed. We've also saw the shooting in Las Vegas, which would, you know, obviously this is going to be something that, do you adapt and change and talk about those things as they happen in the world?
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense to come into a classroom every day and talk about something that's going on right now, because it's never more applicable than when that incident's going on, and how the security elements throughout the country, whether it be the government or private security elements, how they approach it, and how should we start approaching it as we move forward, as you move forward to the students in their career.
Now, I know we're going to go into the other parts of the campus and kind of get a little flavor of what happens here, but for people that don't know, there's a connection. We just talked about Benghazi this week on the radio show. There's a connection here with the school, because somebody that was killed there had a connection to this school, went to school here.
Right. Glenn Doherty, who this building is named after, was a student here, and of course, sadly was killed in Benghazi. So we've named the building after him.
So the people that have been at this school for a long time know more than anyone the importance of what you're doing here.
Right, and the beauty of it is we've now built a master's level program on top of the undergraduate program. So students can flow through, and the master's program is now generating interest from around the country. We're getting students who are undergraduates at other schools coming here because they've decided that's the world they want to go into. And the master's program is very unique, just like the colleges.
So looking at the other side of it, which would be the people that would hire these students, there's got to be a huge market. There's got to be a huge spotlight on this school. There's a lot of people that are going to want these students when they're ready to go into really into the workforce.
I think we're up around 200 of our graduates are now in some sort of federal national security capacity around the country now.
All right, so as I said, this is the only place like this in the entire country. This is the only college where you can get a degree in security intelligence and go through a 4-year program, and it's right here in the state of Arizona. So Steve and I are going to show you a couple of places here if you're interested, but it's cool to know the fact that it's right here in Arizona and training the next generation of people that are going to keep us safe, and it's people like Steve and the other people that have made this school what it is that are teaching those students. So let's take a look around the college. We'll be back in a few moments. All right, we are in the Operations Center here at Embry-Riddle at the College of Security and Intelligence. Well, forgot the word intelligence. What a shock. So this campus is pretty amazing, and we've only really touched on the basics of this. There's an ROTC program, Air Force and Army, so students that leave here with their commission and go into military service.
Right, and as you know, Fort Huachuca, of course, is in Arizona, down outside of Sierra Vista. And a lot of our students, the Air Force students, will go down there for intelligence training after graduation. But yeah, we have a full contingent, Army and Air Force ROTC, and a lot of them, most of them will be pursuing the Global Security Intelligence Studies degree to go into military intelligence.
And this is a pretty strict program, as we were talking about earlier, but the languages as well, and they're required to take 2 years of one of 4 languages, correct?
Right, we offer Russian, Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, Spanish, and Arabic, and obviously 4 critical languages in today's world. And they are mandated to take 2 years. They can take certainly more. And many of them graduate with a pretty high fluency in one of those 4 languages.
And obviously in that world, whatever world they go into, whether it's military intelligence or into the private sector, knowing one of those 4 languages in this world right now, that's got to be a big leg up for them.
What I talk to them about when they're leaving a college like this to go on to do what they're going to do as a career, things like that I call tiebreakers. Other schools may have programs, and other schools may have skilled positions, but this school gives them tiebreakers across the board. They get a degree that's focused on intelligence collection, intelligence operations. They get a degree that is supported by a language like Arabic or Russian or the critical languages. They're all tiebreakers because everybody's competing for these jobs out there. The students that leave this college, they have tiebreakers that will make them more valuable day one going into the national security world.
Just the military side of this, imagine, and I'm sure it's happened, where students leave here with such a well-rounded education in this field that they go into Fort Huachuca as a second lieutenant, but they are got to be light years ahead of some of the people that have been there for a long time.
Yeah, they know more on day one. We see that in our students that have gone to police academies. We see that interviews with federal agencies. I've gotten feedback from my old world at the FBI that the Embry-Riddle students that interview by far are the best most knowledgeable students or applicants they have for the positions they're hiring for.
So if a student wants to leave here and they're going to go into that world in the private, let's say they're going to go into a government job where they need a security clearance, does the college help with that? I mean, is there something for them to get that security clearance, or do you just get them educated, and when they go into that world, that's part of the next step in their career?
The next step would be to hire on with an agency or in the military, where they would have to necessarily get a secret
Right.
or top secret clearance. What we do train them on is interviewing, polygraph, understanding how a polygraph works, and understanding how interviews, so they're prepared to be interviewed as well as do interviews.
How many times do the students ask you, because like you said earlier, there is the people that come from academia, and there are people like you that come from practical life experience. Do you have students that are asking you about your experiences as they pursue that direction?
Yeah, I think that's, again, one of the most valuable pieces to this whole college is that blend of academics plus practitioners, those who have done it, those who know the philosophy of it, the academic side of it, and the blend of both.
All right, so tell us a little bit about those people, some of the people that have started the college and that headed up from the academic side, and some of the other people like yourself that are coming from the world that have done this all of their careers. What are some of the people that are here that are doing those things?
Well, Dr. Jones, who's the dean and who started this whole program, he did a career in the CIA, and Dr. Bloom, who's one of the senior professors here, also former CIA. Of course, my background's with FBI, but we have a whole corporate side where we have three professors that were corporate directors, directors of corporate security on the corporate side, bringing their knowledge in from supply chain security to corporate security, building security, structure security, and then of course the third one, who you met earlier, Dr. Haas, who brings in the expertise on cybersecurity, and we have professors that do the cybersecurity. So all elements are brought to bear.
So what is the, I asked you earlier a little bit about hiring students, because students have to be sought after, but what has been the feedback you've gotten from other government agencies as they look at what you're doing here at the school and the students that are coming out?
Well, as I said, I think we're up at around 200 that are in federal agencies around the country, and their knowledge and skills are recognized immediately when they go in with all the other new employees that they're hiring. They've told us they can tell which ones came from this college with this background.
All right, if you're here in Arizona and you are a student or your children are looking to go to college somewhere and this is the world you want to pursue, there's no other place like it in the country. Arizona should be proud of that for sure, but there's nothing like it in the country. And if you want to learn the next level of national security and national defense, this is the place to do it. Here it's at Embry-Riddle in Prescott, Arizona. Steve, thank you. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Mike.
We'll be back.